There is one thing that happens when a team huddles, hopefully. And what is that? There's actually a break. And then what happens after the break? There's a play. Who said that? Way to go. Russ Murdoch. Someone give him a present over there. Okay. So, for you tonight, we've huddled. What's the play going to be? What's the play going to be? You know, when you were sharing, I was like on the edge of my seat. You shared vulnerably, you shared powerfully, you shared your play, you shared God intervening. Did you guys just love John's message or what? I mean, that was... You know, maybe your play, maybe for you, your play is just, you're seeking God, you're trying, you're reading a little bit, but you just haven't stepped to that full level. And not that you need a knee operation to make that happen. But if you're visiting tonight, like what's going to be your moment? What's going to be your play? How are you going to play this? You're visiting tonight, this is awesome, but what's going to happen from there? I know for me, I'll tell you my play. So we had an atheist tonight and we had a non-believer, right? So I'm the denominational, I'm a Christian guy, all right? So I'm a little different than you two. And I'm like, I believe in Jesus, I'm a Christian. Yo, man, you want to know God, just, come talk to me, I'll figure it out. John 3:16, and we'll go from there. And then my moment happened. I was at UMass, it's my first year, I guess, I think it was my second year, and the pornography is being passed down the locker room. Like the old school, you know what I mean? Like we didn't have phones or anything like that, so it was the magazine. And the centerfold, and it's coming, and it's coming, and it's coming. And there's this guy you probably never heard of named Chip Mitchell, and his locker's right next to mine, okay? And he had been inviting me out to Bible talk. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And the guys are coming down with it. And Chip's a lot of fun. Chip was a DJ before he was a Christian. I mean, Chip is a party animal. They tried to get him to look at that pornography, and he flipped them. He went berserk. He took on 3 linemen. And he's like, Jesus is Lord. I ain't looking at that. No way, man. And he's like, get it out of here. I was like, holy cow. I'm like, oh yeah, I won't look at it either. I was like, if he's a Christian, I'm not. That was my moment. If you hang around long enough, you're going to have a moment. Right, Johnny? But let this be your moment. Don't leave here without something, even if it's just reading 1 chapter a day. Get into the Bible, have a great time with that. John, thanks so much for sharing all of that. Johnny, thank you for helping us get rewired. That was amazing. When Sandy came, you guys remember Sandy, the storm? So I played cheapo on that. So the storm comes in, well, you know what? I'm not going to get my house professionally with a generator and I got a guy, he's just going to put some wires together. So I'll get the generator, he's going to just go there for $100 and tie a few wires together. I know what you're thinking, how'd that work out, Dave? So I'm like, the storm's coming, I start my generator, I plug it in, all of a sudden, all the lights in my house start to go like, and then all the electronics, my fridge, we used to have clock radios, I don't know if you remember those things, but everything was just popping. The guy wired it so the energy was going into in the wrong way, on the wrong wire, and it totally almost blew my house apart. But I saved money. Thank God for insurance. They gave me so much grace, and they came in and rewired my entire house. He literally just blew the lines right out by pumping all this electricity into my house the wrong way. When these guys, my house is like in 1948 and in 2004 come together, it was this much wires, guys. They were there till 3 in the morning. They're like, we've never seen this before. And they just into the circuit box and did the job right. I'm just saying that because Christianity gets such a bad rap. Like, oh, like you were saying, I'll go to church Sunday before Easter, I'll do these little things, I'll make these stabs at it, but guess what? At the end, it's going to blow up. It's going to blow up. Take the time. Anybody remember the 2-week challenge? Oh my gosh, that saved my life. I'm like, okay, no decisions. I'm just going to read. I'll study with you for 2 weeks. Then I'll make a decision. That changed my life. That saved my life. And God is amazing. Maybe for some of the older disciples that were here, I was thinking about what's the play for you? How about anybody want to be like Gary Knudsen? Anybody want to just love your neighbor so much? I love your line there. He goes, yeah, I loved them. But what'd you say after that? Yeah, I loved them even before you loved God or something, right, John? Imagine your neighbor saying that about you. Yeah, I love Russ even before I love God. I was so convicted. We had a Bible talk at our house Tuesday night, one night this week. Anyway, Thursday nights. So we invited some neighbors, and they came, and they brought a friend. And he's 84 years old, and he's a great guy. He's in pretty good shape. He's living. And he uses that opportunity to share about Mike, who brought him. And he starts crying because Mike's been there for him. Mike's been a good friend. Mike's done this for him and gone shopping. And it was awesome. It was awesome to watch someone who doesn't claim to be a Christian, praise another guy who doesn't become a Christian, but it just brotherly love. Maybe that's your play tonight. But let's not leave without a play. Johnny talks about pronouncing, I'm going to be an evangelist, right out of the water. We can do that tonight. We can make a pronouncement. I'm going to love my neighbor. I'm going to be energized. I'm going to rewire. That's a lot of technical stuff John's talked about there. That was awesome. But you know what? I want to go after it that much. I'm going to rewire, and I'm going to change. And God's going to be glorified. Guys, thanks for coming tonight. I hope this was super encouraging for you. We've got cake or some kind of dessert in the back. So go get your sugar fix, and we'll see you next year.